Live from Southern Colorado's Alert Station, KKTV 11 News starts right now.
Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us for a special digital edition of 11 News at 5:30 on KKTV.com. I'm Lindsey Boetsch.
And I'm Adam Atchison. First tonight, we're going to begin with an 11 News alert, and a fire that sparked in eastern El Paso County is now contained. We just learned that within the past 45 minutes or so. That fire burned some ground just east of the Springs past Schriever Space Force Base.
That fire caused an evacuation order for the surrounding area. That order has now been lifted. Take a look at this map that shows where that evacuation order is, of course, in the southeastern portion of El Paso County and where that fire was burning.
And again, that's now over. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office says the fire sparked along Sanborn Road. Reporter Blake Salmon is joining us live from Ellicott. I know you just got to the scene here within the past hour or so. What have you learned while you've been out there?
Well, Adam, it's still been pretty busy, even though that fire is out, as they say. I'm right at the corner of Sanborn and Baggett Road. This is where authorities have the road blocked off to the public as crews do continue to work up there. The fire, it happened just over that hill over there. As you can see, deputies are still here blocking that road off. And again, it's been busy. We've seen water tankers, we've seen utility trucks, and we've seen people, coming in who had to evacuate, and they're trying to get back to their normal routine. And when that evacuation order was lifted, of course, that was disrupted. That evacuation order was issued just after 4 p.m. It was lifted just 40 minutes later. And of course, this comes just a week after the Meridian fire torched about 2,500 acres in eastern El Paso County. And of course, that's why it's important that fire safety needs to be top of mind. The wind is still very gusty out here, and around at this grass, it's very, very, very dry despite all that rain and precipitation that we just got earlier this week. Of course, we still don't know what caused this fire. That's something we're going to work on finding out. We'll bring it to you as soon as we know that. Live in El Paso County, I'm Blake Salmon, 11 News.
That's good. They got a handle on it quickly. Blake, thank you.
One woman says that she is frustrated after she's had 2 private network companies install fiber in her backyard. She says she refused them, but the city has already given them permission.
11 News reporter Elena Tomish joins us live from that neighborhood. Elena, these visitors are not uncommon across Colorado Springs.
No, Adam. Monica Staub has seen 2 different companies install that fiber network right here in her backyard, and she tells me she's frustrated to see her garden dug up and confused as to why it's happening. According to the city of Colorado Springs, those private companies like MetroNet are allowed to install the fiber as long as they meet municipal guidelines, and MetroNet tells me it's not uncommon for 2 easements to be near each other. Quote, sometimes those easements are in people's backyards and haven't been accessed since cable television lines were installed. Monica says this happened twice to her and her husband.
Around, and we're not even going to know it. And now this is what we got.
If one of those companies has damaged your property while installing the fiber, the city says you should contact the provider through the city's cable franchise agreements website. Live in Colorado Springs, Elena Tomish, KKTV 11 News.
All right, Elena, thank you.
If you need to get your driver's license, there's a new law that is going into effect that will make the process simpler by eliminating the need for a Social Security card. In addition to not needing that Social Security card or a taxpayer ID number, this law will no longer require you to live in Colorado for 2 years, making it easier for immigrants to get an ID. The law was passed last year before the recent immigration raids. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office, who's working with ICE, tells us they will not target the DMV for immigrants. We spoke with an immigration attorney about the impact of this law.
This is going to be helpful for immigrants. It's going to allow them to participate more in our society. It's a danger to everyone when we have uninsured motorists on the roads.
The Division of Motor Vehicles tells us federal policy prevents them from sharing applicant information, and this law now takes effect March 31st.
Colorado Springs police are investigating several different crashes near Platt Avenue overnight. The first involved a police cruiser. That officer was responding to a carjacking call around 6 a.m. CSPD says another vehicle hit the cruiser at the intersection with Shelton. They also say no one involved required medical attention. There was a second crash at Platt and Murray where a cyclist, police say, was hit by a pickup truck. We don't know the extent of that person's injuries, but police say they are expected to survive. A man is facing charges accused of stealing a car and evading police. Law enforcement say they first tried to stop Rusty Jocelyn last month. According to police, Jocelyn sped off. They didn't give chase, but then yesterday a detective spotted him near North Academy and North Carefree and then took the suspect into custody. They say Jocelyn was also found with a gun on him.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife says that a recently released gray wolf is now dead, and they were alerted to this death Sunday. CPW says it happened in north central Wyoming. That wolf came from British Columbia and was from an area where there was no overlap between wolves and livestock. CPW says wolves are known to travel long distances to find food or mates. The agency also notes that the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Wyoming was conducting livestock depredation mitigation in the state.
Now, looking ahead, a nearly 6-month-long road construction project is set to start soon. The Colorado Department of Transportation is planning to resurface South Nevada from just south of the interchange with I-25 here all the way to Fort Carson Gate 1. Highway 115 in that area. The work will start Monday, March 31st. That's in 11 days. Work is planned to take place Sunday through Thursday. Northbound work will be done from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. Southbound work from 7 p.m. to 7 in the morning. And that project is expected to last until the end of September.
We are still months away from Labor Day liftoff, but you can start planning for it now. Tickets for parking and other passes are officially on sale. The 49th annual Labor Day liftoff runs from August 30th through September 1st this year. Labor Day liftoff itself is free, but you can purchase other add-ons now. Parking passes are on sale. They cost between $5 and $20, depending on the parking lot. You can also get VIP tickets for the event. Those cost $150 per person per session. Kids' VIP ticket is $75. Let's get a check of your forecast now with Chief Meteorologist Sydney Jackson.
We dealt with the wind, but the sun came back.
Yes, and a little bit warmer today, guys, but we are still facing that gusty wind, making for high fire danger into this evening. A live look from our Motor City camera sponsored by Heiser Hail Repair. We're still dealing with powerful wind gusts of 40 miles an hour. A look here from Cheyenne Mountain this evening. We are seeing some cloud cover around. This camera is sponsored by Springs Law Group. We're dry for tonight, but those winds are going to stay put through this evening. So that fire danger still going to be high even through late tonight with those winds sticking around. But the good news is we are going to face less wind for us into our Friday. Lows tonight, though, they're going to be chilly, dropping back into the 20s for many of us. So out the door Friday morning, have those layers handy, but we will warm up nicely into the afternoon for our Friday. You can plan on highs reaching the 50s and 60s for many of us. 40s for Monument. We'll make it to the 40s in Woodland Park by the afternoon. Now let's talk about that wind for tomorrow. It's still going to be noticeable, but not as intense compared to what it's been like here throughout the course of this week. Into the afternoon, we're looking at gusts, I'd say around maybe 25 to 30 miles an hour. So fire danger is still a concern for tomorrow, but those winds are not going to be as powerful compared to what we've been dealing with lately. We'll still feel breezy into this weekend. Saturday, it's possible we could see a few showers around, but those chances really don't look that great. We will be talking about more fire danger, though, into this weekend. Overall, though, things do look pretty nice with 50s and 60s on the way for us here over the weekend with a decent amount of dry time as well. As I mentioned, Saturday, it's possible we could see a few showers throughout the day, but I think a good portion of us are going to remain dry. Sunday, we're partly cloudy, holding on to that breeze. You can plan on 50s for the afternoon on Sunday. And check out next week. We are alerting you first to a warming trend here, really feeling nice now that spring has begun. We're looking at 60s and 70s into next week. Those overnight lows are going to be warmer as well, reaching the 30s and 40s for us. So not terrible at the door each and every day, but definitely warmer next week. Really no impressive shower chances, though, over the next several days. Pueblo, Canyon City, we are going to warm things up here by the end of the weekend into this weekend. Next week, we have 70s, even some 80s on the way for us. For Woodland Park, we will see that chance for a few showers on Saturday. Other than that, we're dry with 40s and 50s ahead here over the next few days. 60s make a return to the forecast here into next week.
March always brings its chaos. Colorado State will play on Friday against Memphis, but the round of 64 began this morning, and that includes in Denver, where we have our very own one of two CSU Rams in this news department with 11 Sports Director Jessica Mendoza. Jess, what did you see from these early games? I thought Montana would upset Wisconsin. That didn't come through, but Will Wade's Cowboys.
Yeah, Corey, you gotta love it. And this building here at Ball Arena has seen some magical March moments like that before. You gotta go back to 2016 when Purdue was upset by Little Rock in double overtime. And 2023 here was a little bit too tame. We had 0 upsets in the first round the last time that March Madness was here at Ball Arena. I talked to some basketball fans today, and they said they're hoping for a little bit more chaos this time around. So here's what we've had so far in today's games. Wisconsin knocking off the Big Sky champion in Montana, and following the Badgers at BYU, they were looking good, and they will keep us from seeing any upsets so far here at Ball Arena. But coming up later tonight, and actually in action right now, just about 50 feet away, we've got Texas A&M taking on Yale. Yale is once again a popular pick for another upset. Last season, they crafted a big win over Auburn in the first round. The Ivy League champions could be up to something similar here tonight. And why not the Tritons? Our nightcap is Michigan taking on UC San Diego. UCSD owns the longest winning streak in the game right now, 15 wins in a row. They're a little undersized for Michigan, but they shoot the 3 well. Many believe they're also a good candidate for a big first-round upset here tonight. Today's winners are going to be back here at Ball Arena on Saturday for the round of 32. We're going to have Wisconsin taking on, let's see here. I'm losing my spot here. BYU, right, our first 2 winners of the day, Wisconsin and BYU, are going to be our first round of 32 game on Saturday. Corey, lots of games still left here at Ball Arena. We're going to have those updates from those 2 games coming up tonight at 10.
Can pull off that upset against Texas A&M. Do you have any predictions for tonight's games?
Nothing specific. I do have 2 brackets in action so far tonight, Corey, and in one of them, I do have UC San Diego winning over Michigan later tonight. Like I said earlier, I just think we need something to shake this up here at Ball Arena. It's been a little bit too perfect so far. So hopefully in one of these 2 night games, we're going to see an upset.
So right now, my fiance Victoria is perfect, 8 for 8. Also, shout out Roberto in the studio. He's also leading the way, perfect 8 for 8. I'm 7 for 8, not doing too bad. How's your bracket doing, Jess?
Not great, Corey. I mean, of course, we're already busted here for me. Purdue, I had them losing again in the first round. That didn't work out so well. Hoping they're not going to make it too far because that never helps. But I also didn't have Louisville moving on in the first round either. So tough morning for me, but I'm all in for Victoria and Roberto, hoping their brackets stay perfect as long as possible.
Same here. You can't not pull for Will Wade, though, you know? I will wait for you. Former LSU head coach. Now let's go over to the Colorado Avalanche, who are trying to bounce back from their loss in Toronto. They're staying north of the border in Canada's capital. Right now, it's 2-0 Avs in the first period. Nathan McKinnon getting a goal, who's also playing his 200 straight game. What a stud. Also, Brock Nelson's first goal as an Av. We're going to give you the rest of these highlights tonight at 10. Guys.
All right, Corey, thank you. And here's what we're working on late tonight. Senator Michael Bennett is in Colorado Springs taking questions from constituents across southern Colorado.
And we do have a crew at that town hall, and we'll have the latest coming up tonight on 11 News at 10.
Now, here's the thing. It may not air at 10 tonight because of basketball. So whenever it does air 10 or later, we'll be on live.
Yeah, after that last game.
Yeah. And that's St. John and who's St. John's playing? The Godfather, though. St. John's, Rick Pitino's the head coach.
It's right on the tip of my tongue who they're playing. But
there's so many teams. It's hard to keep everything
well, there's so many
check.
It was easy to remember Kansas and Arkansas because it's like Kansas and then Arkansas.
Yep.
But, St. John's in Vermont? Does that make sense? No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, well.
That's all right.
Us, right.
We'll let you know.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Late tonight at 10, whenever we air. We'll see you then.
Have a good night.